I did notice that with Broughton, there wasn't as much laughter as there normally is.
Yeah, because you're the one that brings the humor.
That's right.
Matt's not funny.
No. You look funny, so,
Yes, I do.
I do appreciate the larger shirt, and I do appreciate your hair being fixed now that we're all back.
I'd appreciate it if you would play some intro music after Troy says.
But first, we got to kick it.
Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast.
Hardheaded
Podcast. I'm your host, Chet Sears. With us, as always, Matt Amos. And with us most of the time when he's healthy, Troy Trussell. Troy, we are so happy to have you back in the studio.
Thank you.
We'd
Thank
like
you.
to send another thank you to our friend Christopher Broughton down in Louisiana for filling in for you. But man, glad to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back.
On the really?
Road to recovery.
Did you think you were going to be back?
Man, there was a time sitting in that hospital bed where just didn't know.
Yeah.
It becomes a mind game.
Yep.
Because really, your lungs are just not working. There's really nothing you can do about it except the little breathalyzer thing that they give you to practice on, and oxygen flowing through your nose. You just gotta just trust the medicine and trust that they're doing everything that they can for you. So
fun.
So on that little machine, was it sucking or blowing?
It was sucking.
Yeah, you do suck.
Yes.
Matt's been waiting a long time to tell that joke.
I know. Glad I could amuse you.
I'm glad you're here to be amused.
Yeah. So
what's on your mind, man?
So of course, what's been on my mind lately is just COVID recovery.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to come on and tell kind of what happened, tell the COVID story, because I hadn't heard much about it. And when you went through it, you were in the hospital a few days and just didn't get the full, full thing of what
this is what happens.
Like, this is what happens. This is what it is. And so come to find out, like, our whole family got it. Like, family of 7, we all got it. Kids all had fever, sore throats, croup coughs, all that stuff. And then on the 10th, I started feeling really bad. And so my wife was like, hey, let's go get tested. I mean, kids usually get over croup in about 24 hours.
Right.
They're still got fever 3 and 4 days later.
Yeah.
So I went and got tested, went through all that, took about 45 minutes. They called me an hour later. You got COVID. So, but they didn't tell me what to do.
Nothing.
So then it's like a guessing game. Like, okay, what do I do? I started asking around, asking some people. A lot of people said, day 5 and 6, if you're going to get the pneumonia, that's when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so day 2, I called a nurse friend of mine.
The pneumonia.
Yeah.
It's not getting pneumonia if you're going to get the pneumonia.
The pneumonia.
So I called
pneumonia.
called a nurse friend of mine. She's a nutritionist as well, but she's been a RN for like 30 years. And so she kind of put me on a vitamin regimen. I was taking zinc, vitamin C, quercetin, a couple other things. And that was keeping me at bay, like keeping me feeling okay.
Didn't improve you, but you didn't get worse.
Right. Didn't improve, didn't get any worse until day 5. And then my wife started having really severe lower back pain. And she couldn't move without tears.
Yeah.
I mean, just severe back pain. So she's like, I got to do something. I'm going to go into the ER. So she went in. They tested her kidneys. They ran a bunch of tests on her. Turned out everything was okay. Took a chest x-ray on her. No COVID pneumonia. And this was like day 5. And but she was telling them some of the symptoms I was having. And they were like, when you go home, you send him in.
Yeah.
So I went right up there. They checked my blood oxygen. It stayed about 94 when I was sitting. And they did a chest x-ray. Both lungs were pretty cloudy. Not too bad.
You had the pneumonia.
I had the pneumonia, COVID pneumonia. And so they put me on a steroid and antibiotic, and they gave Hannah the same thing. So sent us home, said, 2 or 3 days, it should start clearing up and you'll start feeling better. No. Hannah started feeling better, but she never got COVID pneumonia. She just had the fatigue and the
fever and
fever, chills, all the other fun stuff. And then, so day 6, I started having insomnia. So day 6,
steroids.
Yeah. So days 6, 7, 8, and 9, I had insomnia. I had loss of appetite. I had, if I tried to eat, I would throw it up. It would make me nauseous. Like, because you're like, dude, eat carbs.
Yeah.
You need carbs for energy. So, I mean, I love ramen. I eat ramen all the time anyway. I have since college, And I took like 3 bites of ramen. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Are you off of it now? Did you eat it and puke it? Now you're never going to eat it again?
No, I have eaten it since.
Okay.
So we're good there. But I like to make it like with onions and broccoli and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. But so yeah, finally day 10 of lost appetite, insomnia, nausea. Went into the ER that morning. There were like 8 people ahead of me. They were trying to get me in for a chest x-ray. I couldn't hack it. I couldn't sit there 30 minutes and I was done. So I went and got back in the car. Hannah took me home, went and got back in the bed. 3 o'clock, I woke up, walked to the bathroom, came back, sat back down on the bed, checked my blood oxygen. It was at 80.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started coughing and I couldn't catch my breath. And so she just said, get in the car, we're going. Mm-hmm. She called her dad, was like, leaving the kids, can you get over here ASAP? Yeah. Put the 11-year-old in charge. Like, it was crazy. So she rushed me back to the ER. Mm-hmm. She parked way back in the parking lot. She's like, we're going to get your blood oxygen level low when you walk in there. So maybe they'll help you out. Because every time I went 3 times.
Yeah.
They would put the blood oxygen on me. It'd be like 88 or something, but I'd sit there and it would just get better.
Yeah.
Because if I'm still, like, I can control my breathing and everything. Mm-hmm. So then we walked in there, walked the whole length of the parking lot, walked in there. The nurse put it on my finger. It was 85. He immediately took it off. Said, go sit down. I'm going to go get you some oxygen.
Yeah.
And I was just like, praise Jesus. Like, I'm finally going to get help.
Right.
And so sat there, got some oxygen. Was actually there. They brought me back, started running tests, taking blood, put me on an IV drip. I was there from 3 p.m. till 1 a.m. And the EMS finally was able to come pick me up and take me to Maine, Wesley, to the COVID floor. It is a thing. Mm-hmm. And so I was on the COVID floor for 5 days there, and just can't thank the nurses and people enough, that helped me out and got me back on my feet. So, yeah, they pushed fluids in me for 3 days, got my appetite back.
Because you're pretty bad dehydrated.
Yeah, right? I was super dehydrated. Once they started getting fluids in me, I started getting my appetite back like the next day. Mm-hmm. And the hospital food, hey, it's hospital food. Wasn't that great. Wasn't too terrible, though. And it just got my appetite back. Started just shoveling in whatever I could.
Then you started feeling better.
Yeah. Yep. And then I think the 4th day I was there, they dropped me down to 1 liter of oxygen. I started on 4, went down to 1. And then that last night I was there, they took me off completely, slept without it, stayed above 90, and I was able to go home. Yeah. So now still doing, took my last steroid today. So I'm hoping my sleep will get regulated within the next night or 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm still having a little trouble sleeping, but I'm pretty sure it's a steroid. But
yeah.
You're looking a little more buff.
Yeah. Hey, I lost like 10, 12 pounds.
I see that. Oh,
now
so it's not a...
Now I just need to start working out.
It's not a bigger shirt. You just lost some weight.
Right.
That's funny. So a lot of people that I've talked to, they think people that haven't had COVID or haven't had to go to the hospital with COVID think that, that they put you on some medicine, like they do stuff for you, and they don't. Like the protocol is just monitor your blood oxygen level. We may give you a steroid.
Right.
And then when it gets really this bad, you need to go to the hospital, and their only thing that they can do is then admit you. Like, there's no plan. I would think that we're this many years into COVID, we've developed vaccines, like several companies have developed vaccines. There should be some kind of a treatment, pre-treatment before hospital. But literally the plan is if you're probably going to get pneumonia. If you don't, you're good. If you do, you get pneumonia, then you have to come to the hospital. Like, that's it. Like, that's the treatment. And a steroid, which nobody that I know that's been given a steroid has prevented them from getting pneumonia or from it getting worse. Like, they gave you a steroid, it got worse. Hannah didn't have pneumonia, they gave her a steroid anyway. Like, right. I mean,
that's just the protocol.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of messed up in my mind. And I talking to people about it, they were like, what didn't work? I'm like, no, this is their plan. Like, hey, call the ER when go to the ER when your blood oxygen gets below 90. That's it. Like, good luck. Taking aspirin may help against blood clots. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
See you later.
And in the hospital, they don't give you aspirin. They give you a shot in the abdomen every 12 hours. Yeah. For the blood clot thing. Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Little Lovenox.
Yep.
Yeah. It ain't that bad. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, when they wake you up at 2 a.m. to give it to you and
here we go.
Pump antibiotics in your hand. I was fine. I went right back to sleep.
5 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many days were you in there with those legs?
4 months.
Yeah, there you go. You definitely got me beat.
And they, but I do. It does annoy you when they come in and every 3 hours they wake you up for something, so you can never get a full night's sleep.
Yeah, I timed it like the hardest sleep I would try to get, and it was working just because everybody's really busy. It was shift change. Like, that one was not every 3 hours. Like when they changed the shift between nights and days. So they'd come in at 3, but they typically wouldn't show up until 8 with the new person on the shift, which really was when the food came too. So I would get like 5 hours between 3 and 5, and that felt pretty good.
Well, they were waking me up at 2 for the antibiotic and sometimes the blood thinner. And then they would wake me up at 6 to give me my thyroid pill. And then they would take blood and they would do vitals. Mm-hmm. Then I'd go back to sleep for an hour and they'd bring breakfast about 8:30. Yeah. So, yeah, got to be routine. So it was fine.
Well, now, hey, man, you got some immunity. That's awesome.
That's right. Got some antibodies. Who knows how long they last? I hear 3 months to 12 months to whatever. But, hey.
Who knows?
I'll take them.
I got... Well, when I got it back I got Labor Day of last year, and I've been good so far. So who knows?
Yeah, it's still not going to be as bad even if you don't have antibodies.
Yeah.
So you knocked it out with Dayquil and NyQuil.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had it. Did you get tested?
No, I didn't get tested.
You didn't have it.
There's no way that you knocked out COVID with Dayquil, NyQuil. I
well, you see all the people that are pretty much asymptomatic, they get it and it really doesn't bother them too much. But I mean, it was the most sick that I've been in a long time. I mean, there's nothing that wipes me out. If I get something like that, I'm out for typically maybe a day or two. Yeah. And I come right back around.
Yeah.
But, that was 4 days that running a fever that was 102.5, something like that. And then on the 4th day, I just got this really disgusting smell in my nose. And
had you showered the previous 3 days?
No.
Well, then that's what it was. That's what the disgusting smell was.
It must have been so bad that I just lost my smell for like about a month.
Yeah.
A little more than a month. And then, on day 5, I started getting up, and really getting around and doing stuff. And, that's why we were telling you to just keep moving.
Yeah.
And, but, it was labored breathing for probably 2 weeks.
Did you hate us with all of our messages to
you?
you?
No, man. Y'all kept me going.
Quit laying around. Get up, move.
Oh, it was good.
Do something.
Yeah.
Because
start sucking.
Yeah, because it's really... I mean, it is a mind game because your body, you just don't want to do anything but lay around.
Yeah,
and that's the worst thing that you can do for yourself.
For pneumonia, it's just lay there on your back.
So, but yeah, that when I got out of the hospital, the one question I had for the doctor was, when can I lay on my back again? And he was like, well, your lungs are clear. You're good. You're cleared for that. So
that's just in general not healthy for you.
What?
Ever.
Laying on your back?
Yeah. Quit doing it, man. Shouldn't do it.
True. Then why are all hospital beds elevated to the point where you're on your back?
Huh? Oh, because the hospital is just, that's how they do it.
Okay.
They have access to everything that they need to give you your shots in your stomach, your little tummy.
Little tum-tum shot.
Little tum-tum shot for your blood clots.
Yeah. See, now I went.
But it was funny because they're telling me I need to lay on my side, and I'm like, you're going to have to pull one of these wires out of me if you want me to literally be on my side, because I can't, like, the IV was in the place where if you moved your arm, it would
kink.
It's like jab you or whatever.
Yeah. So
now, did your hospital bed, like, was it air cushioned?
Yeah, all of them are, so you don't get bed sores.
Yeah, that was awesome. I missed that.
Well, Matt got his bed in with the
with the quarter slot and everything. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. It works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you could let Troy borrow that for a little while.
No, I'm good.
It might vibrate any junk in those lungs loose. But yeah, it's kind of funny because that you're talking about bed sores. So I was in there for back when I was injured for 4 months, and they kept saying you need to put a pillow under your butt to lift it up to ease, or you're gonna have a really nasty bed sore, because I already had one on my tailbone, and it hurt to be on my tailbone anyway because it was shattered when I landed on it. And so they're like, oh, you need to roll over just a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, how am I supposed to roll over with this X-Fix, which is the piece that's holding my hips together? Like, there's no rolling any direction. It's like, I don't know what you want me to do here. So then they brought me in
a metal cage with screws in my hip.
They want me to lay on my side.
They brought me in a special bed so that I could do that. And fortunately, it finally started to close back up, but it was a pretty deep, good one. But yeah, those times suck. And then they started you on the Lovenox, and that's just the little, that's the hospital stuff. And so when I got out, they wanted to continue to treat me for, to continue to thin my blood. So then I had to go to the place called the Coumadin Clinic for I think it was 4 months. I was at the Coumadin Clinic. You got to go in, you got to get your blood checked like 3 times a week. And
oh, wow.
It's stupid, and then once they figure out your dosage, then, it's like once every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. But
yeah,
so stupid. And then that's why I was asking you which breathing apparatus you had, because I got a little overzealous when they first took my vent out. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the whole time that you got that vent in, it's just so dry. It's that dry air that's going in. So you're just incredibly thirsty. And so when they finally took that out, and I told my dad, I was like, go get me some Gatorades, Coke, go get me, give me everything. Yes. And so I started downing it, and then I threw it all up because the muscles in my throat
couldn't handle it. So I aspirated into my lungs and ended up going back on the vent.
Oh, God.
It was a pretty awesome time. But
what a wonderful patient you are.
Trust me, I've apologized to many, many nurses that I now keep in contact with for being such a pain in the butt while I was there, but is what it is.
Well, I think it's funny to all our listeners out there, because anytime any of us have any kind of medical ailment, and we were talking about the exhaustion, and your wife was attributing that to first trimester of pregnancy, and then we got into giving birth, and I was like, well, I had a kidney stone that was this big, and then Matt's like, I got blown up and lost my legs. Shut it.
And to go, so
winning.
Yeah.
So I
it's like, I got the trump card. Boom.
I've got the pain complete. But what's funny about that is, when people ask me, was that pretty painful? And I'm like, losing your legs. And I was like, I honestly, not really. I go, the 2 most painful things that I experienced were, number 1, I had a gallbladder with a blockage, so it was inflamed. That was number 1, because that was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I mean, I've heard that gallbladder surgery is pretty rough. My mom and my
father-in-law both been through that.
Like sustained, or was like a sharp boom, or is
No,
it, just,
it started out just like I felt like there was just like I'd slept wrong and my back was just feeling kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then, that was about 5 o'clock in the morning. Then by 7, I mean, it was a constant, absolute pain.
Right.
Like, and I'd never understood, you reading books or something like that, and the person was writhing in pain. I was literally in that bed. I know what that is like now.
Yeah.
I'm writhing in pain, and I've got that X-Fix, so I can't move anywhere. So I'm just kind of stuck on my back. I can't do anything to relieve that pressure. And they finally got me down into surgery at 2, and I'd had so many surgeries up to that point that they couldn't even, they didn't want to take it out. And so all they did was they went in and they're like, all right, we're just going to stick this big needle through your liver into your gallbladder, and we're just going to drain it. I was like, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. So, at this point, I don't care as long as it's something.
Like my mom heard me use words that she has never heard me use when that was going on.
Just Marine words. It's okay.
Yeah, like extreme Marine words. And what's funny is I brought it up to her, and she goes, well, I don't remember that. And I was like, oh, I do.
Yeah. I was acutely aware of everything going on at that moment.
And so they took me down and to, what do they call it? Nuclear medicine. And so that you're nuclear. Oh, however George W. said. Nuclear.
W.
And so they put you up on the screen, and so you're just under basically conscious sedation for this thing. And so you're watching them put the needle in and all that, and then like immediately, boom, as soon as it hit in there, it started draining, complete relief.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Incredible. And then, so that was number 1, worst pain of my life. Number 2 was the kidney stone, because I've dealt with that multiple times and been to the hospital multiple times for it, to where they think that you're a drug seeker. And I'm like, I'm
not getting these stones for drugs. I promise.
Yeah. Like I'd rather just not, I'm not, that type of stuff doesn't, that's not my cup of tea. And then 3rd would be getting blown up.
Yeah.
But so
now,
it was kind of funny though when we got the text that, oh man, this is like my wife says this is what it felt like being pregnant, and I'm like,
yeah,
come on, man,
whatevs.
I remember when you were in the hospital with kidney stones, we actually shot an episode for our old
the first one when I was getting
old hunting
TV show. Yeah, that was I was just going in for surgery for that. They had already relieved the pain with a stent.
And the best scene of that whole show, there were 2 ducks that flew through the parking lot that morning, and I actually got them on camera flying through the parking lot, seeing the hospital.
I thought the best one was the automatic faucet for Sean, and it didn't work. And he's like trying to get the faucet to turn on, and it wouldn't turn on. And then he's like, well, I'll go to the next sink. And as soon as he walked away, the faucet came on. And then he's like, oh, it's working. And he goes back and it doesn't work. I mean, like,
it was comedy gold
for that. Yeah.
Comedy gold.
In a world of COVID, can we please get some automatic faucets that actually work? Because I will I'll go to the airport, sit there for a couple of minutes, and then you feel ridiculous that you're trying to convince this machine to give you water.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, screw it.
I don't know why we can't just go back to foot pedals. They got foot pedals in a lot of the hospitals for doctors and stuff.
I don't know.
Let's do foot pedals.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Technology's not helping.
Foot pedals on doors, foot pedals for...
Yeah, let's just do foot pedals for everything.
Yeah.
That's real sensitive.
Yeah, for people that don't have feet.
You got feet, bro.
I don't have ankles.
You can pull it open.
Pull?
Yeah.
Hey, but you're talking about the hand sense. Well, I guess if you don't have hands, you don't need to wash them. So that doesn't... I guess that works.
Lawyered.
All right.
Touche.
But we are glad you're back. We're glad that you're feeling better.
Yes, thank you. It's good to be back for sure.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll be back with the top 3 vehicles, and there are gonna be some parameters I'll tell you about.
Sounds good.
1783, the first victory. Victorious in war, this year sees America earn her independence. At Admiral's Pennant, we celebrate victories at the end of war. 1783 is the first of many such celebrations in our nation's history. This is an elegantly refined blend of sandalwood, cedar, and tea tree. The subtle, lingering, woody scent of the sandalwood, light cedar, and the top notes of tea tree is the essence of masculinity, honoring the men who fought and continue to fight to provide us our independence.
Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back. Matt, you're great. You do a great job on that soundboard. Let me just tell you.
You get better and better every time.
Every time, except for I did notice it was kind of slipping with Broughton. It's hard to see, because
I'm glad you noticed it because I just
he can
was
be a
let
bit.
it go.
Broughton can be a bit distracting.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's hard when you can't see the other person that you're talking to.
No cues.
Hey, I might have a fix for that in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top 3 cars that you would like to own, but the vehicle, has to be valued at under $100,000.
Yep. And this is from a listener, nouglyfloors.com. A friend of mine, Ben Henwood.
Okay. I was like, that's a really weird name to give a child. Like a .com name?
No, a friend of mine, Ben Henwood, owns a flooring company, Designer's Home Gallery here in town. He's an avid listener, been listening since episode 1. So thanks for writing in, Ben. And here we go.
Sweet.
Well, you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Man. Number 3. Whatever new model of F-350 is out there.
The latest model of F-350. And you're getting close to that $100,000 limit, though.
We're pushing it right now. But I think that's mostly because of the chips. I mean, we're talking retail value, not what the dealerships are actually trying to sell them for, it's still under $100,000. But to me, instead of having sports cars or anything like that, that's my
number 3.
F-350 is my favorite. One of my favorite things to drive.
Now, is it a dually?
No, mine's not a dually. But if I ever upgraded to any heavier equipment where I was towing more often, then I would definitely go dually, because especially in the wind, those dualies handle a lot better when you've got a large load and you're trying to drive in the wind.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind up here.
But all right, so that's number 3. Number 2. Whatever the newest Ford Raptor is. And
this is turning into a Ford commercial.
Well, I like Ford. What can I say? But I don't think that you can get the new ones for under 100. So I would go with a 18, 19 version of it.
Yeah.
But the way that those things handle on back roads or over washboard roads is just absolutely incredible. The suspension on them is great, and I've got a few buddies that have them, and they're just so smooth to ride in. So that'd be number 2. Number 1, 1964 Lincoln Continental, suicide doors, and I don't care if it's hardtop, convertible, but the 64 Lincoln that's been completely redone. And there were a couple, they weren't completely redone, that just went across the auction block.
Was it under 100?
Oh yeah, both of them were under 100. Yep. And I've got a 64 Lincoln Continental.
I was about to say, do you realize that his top 3 list is like, oh, by the way, 2 of the 3 I already own. Like,
you got to buy what you want.
Yeah. Hashtag living my best life.
Instagram success.
Yes.
But so yeah, they rolled across the auction block, and I think they were in that. I mean, I think one was about $20,000 and the other one was 30, but you can find them really well redone for around 60.
Yeah.
60 or 70. So
you need to get on your restoration.
Well, give me $100,000 or $99,999.
I'm not giving you anything. Well, I'll give you a hard time.
I don't need any more of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my top 3.
I dig it.
Honorable mention would be like a Chevelle, like 69, 70 something.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll go. So all of these can be, not all, maybe more than 100 if you restoration wise, but I will take one that's quality 90,000.
Okay.
If we're getting to pick.
All right.
I'd take a 1968 Camaro.
Yeah.
Good looking car.
Yep. And then an older, well, they're all old, but an International Scout would be my number 2. And the reason I jumped straight to number 2 from number 3 When my mom and dad got married, my mom was driving a Camaro, my dad was driving an International Scout. Both pretty cool cars. Both they got rid of right away. You know, I guess that's what
Kids.
you do.
Thanks, Chet.
Yeah. My sister. Well, actually, I think the deployment to
Japan, right?
Sardinia got rid of that. They were in Italy before I was even born. So
okay.
Got rid of that. My dad told stories though. He had some studded tires for that Scout, and he was stationed somewhere in upstate New York. And he said I was making in the wintertime, I'd make more money pulling people out of ditches off of snowy roads with that Scout than the Air Force was paying me. So I got like more than doubled my salary in the wintertime with that thing. But that would be pretty awesome. I think those two. And I know my mom wasn't driving a 68 Camaro, I'm pretty sure, but I'll take a 68. And then, yeah, it'd just be awesome. I had a buddy of mine in college who had a 69 Camaro, and all the engine and everything was good, but the interior needed a little work and it needed a paint job. It was primer gray. But he'd bring it in a couple times a year. We'd drive around town, have a little fun.
That's fun.
Yeah. And then number one, the new Ford Bronco, like the newest one. I want one of those pretty bad.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet looking.
Not the stock ones either, because I don't like how they went plain Jane on the wheels and whatnot. So like one of the packages,
to soup it up and
like a Sasquatch package.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah,
kind of like a first edition.
yeah.
The first edition package.
Yeah, I guess they have other. First edition is not just Sasquatch. They have other stuff with the first edition that you don't get after the fact. But I'm not necessarily too much concerned about that. But 35-inch tires, 4-door, hard top.
Got a outfitter buddy of mine that
gray blue color that they've got that's pretty awesome.
Works down on the Kaibab.
What is the Kaibab?
You're not even a hunter. Anyway,
it's where those two national parks are connected or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, but that's down there in Arizona. It's a really big hunting thing, really close to North Rim, the Grand Canyon, all that kind of stuff. That's where I shot my buffalo.
Oh, okay.
But they do bison hunts and elk hunts and all that kind of stuff down there. But their fleet basically consists of all Ford. Mm-hmm. They've got the F-250 trimmers. They've got Raptors,
which is the Raptor version of the F-250, Troy, just in case you were wondering.
I did not know that.
He had to educate me on that earlier.
Right on.
They've got Raptors, and then they just got in, not too long ago, they were one of the first ones to get the Bronco. Yeah. And so he's been running it through its paces, and I mean, he says it does its job. He says he likes it, and he puts those things to the test. So
yeah,
good choice.
Yep, I'm a Ford fan too. I've got I don't know any auto manufacturer that would be like this today other than Ford. I have 140,000 miles on my truck now. It's a 2013, just had some transmission issues and did a little research, and Ford's like, yeah, we're going to extend the transmission warranty to cover that up to 150,000 miles.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, what manufacturer out there is like, oh, we're going to go above and beyond. It wasn't a safety issue. It wasn't anything like that. They're like, our transmission should last longer than that. So we're going to go ahead and cover that.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, and before you had that little Ford Ranger.
Yeah. And before I had that, I had a Ford F-150. And before I had that, I had another Ford F-150.
Nice.
And before I had that, I was driving a Mazda.
I can't see you in a Mazda.
Oh, dude, it was sweet. Have you never seen pictures of it?
I don't think so.
Oh, I loved it.
Big guy in a little truck.
Yeah.
Well, remember, I was
a lot skinnier back then.
I used to drive a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Yes, with the pearl metallic.
I got it my senior year, and then 3 years later, drove it all through college. Year out of college, tree fell on it, turning it into a hot dog bun. Literally, it was incredible.
I remember that.
Yeah, it scared the crap out of us. I mean, tree could have went right on my bedroom, but
took out the car
instead. I'll take it. Still here.
All right, man.
All right. Well, I have an honorable mention just because I wanted to look it up, and I knew it would be way out of the realm of 100,000. Way out of the realm. But I wanted to see what the 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California Spider from Ferris
Bueller's Day Off. Yeah.
is auctioning off for, and you can get one for a measly $17 million. So
That's quite a bit of money.
quite a bit of money. It'd be fun just to drive one of those.
Yeah.
Just one time, kind of ramp it to the Star Wars theme. I don't know. I think it'd be amazing.
Powerball's up to 570 million.
Ooh, might have to go buy a ticket.
Chet's buying a jet,
Really?
Yeah.
and he's putting me on staff for my current salary. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'll work something out with you more than your current salary.
Oh, I'll take it.
You-
Yeah.
You would contribute more.
I'm sold. I'm in.
I would never be there.
I'm not. I feel my odds of winning will go up if I actually buy a ticket, though. So I need to do that at some point if this is all going to work out.
Can't win if you don't play, right?
Right. That's right.
All right. Well, and in my research, they made 3 replicas of that model car
For Ferris Bueller.
for the movie, just to drive around and kind of tear up. So thought that was pretty interesting. Anyway, number 3, a 2022 Ford Explorer Platinum. I've always wanted a Ford Explorer. I don't know why. It just, I need an SUV because all my video equipment and everything, my car is pretty much my office where I house everything. And just having a new Ford Explorer Platinum, I think it would be pretty nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only $54,000.
Yeah. Only.
Yeah, that's it.
Gotta
So
look,
the car I drive right now, brand new, was $45,000, but I got it used at like $20,000, and just recently paid it off.
Yes.
So
Sweet.
pretty excited about that. Number 2, going electric, guys. 2022 Tesla Model S, weighing in at $85,000. I think it'd really be cool to drive something that I didn't have to fill up with gas all the time.
Yes, but
we literally had this discussion a couple days ago.
it wasn't not because of the top 3. We just started talking about Teslas or electric vehicles in general. Like I couldn't do it. Like physically, I have places that I go that I couldn't charge, and if I couldn't charge it, I wouldn't be able to get back where I go.
Yeah.
So it would have to be an one vehicle.
Yeah.
Because you can't just charge them somewhere. But like if I'm going up to deer hunt, like I'm hosed because I won't be able to get back, and I just can't plug an extension cord into that joker. I don't think.
Got to put in a charging station up at the deer camp, right?
I'm not doing that.
I don't know if we know enough about how they actually charge because you can plug them in at your house.
But you have to have this special station to do it. It's not like you're running your electric weed or extension cord and just plugging it into your trunk.
Yeah, you have to have a
Special deal.
special charging station.
And then the more people that get them, like how long does it take to charge at one of these fast charging stations at a gas station somewhere?
I have no idea.
You're like, if it takes 30 to 45 minutes and somebody's already there, like you have to wait 30 and 40 minutes for somebody to get out of the way and then you charge it.
I think you just charge every night at home.
If you're just around, I'm thinking, heck, I want to go down to Lake Fork and go fishing. Oh, nope. I'm going to have to stay the night now because I can't get down there on one charge. It doesn't make sense. But if you're going to have it like in town and just driving around.
Oh, if I'm going to have it in town for work and driving around and
I hear they're fast.
Yeah.
Is that the one that the Model
have
S? Is that the
support.
one that has the gull wing doors?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Probably not for 85.
I just looked up the most expensive Tesla and that was it.
Oh, it's
was
an
it?
SUV. It's not like the fancy one. It's it doesn't look like it should have gull wing doors. It's not like 80s model cars with gull wing doors.
Yeah. All right.
There's
and then-
one in the drop off line to school that I get behind all the time.
Yeah.
Kids got to get out. It's like, whoosh.
They're like eerily quiet.
Well, they're electric motors.
I know. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Safety. It's a safety.
You
hazard.
can't hear them coming, so you got to watch out.
That's covered in the office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jim pushes Dwight up against the thing and the shrubs or something like that. And Dwight's looking and he couldn't, because he couldn't hear the car coming up. It wasn't a Tesla. It was like a Prius.
All right. And number 1, State Electric.
Okay.
2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. You can get one souped up for $90,000. And the commercial says that bad boy will charge your house.
It acts like a generator almost.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
I am all in on that.
With the long range package, you have a 350 mile.
405 is what I saw.
Really? Because when they revealed it, it was 380.
Oh, it's 380.
Yeah.
I thought I saw 405.
But then you're pushing it because it's like, well, if it's the way you're going into the wind, you're using more power.
Or if you've got a load, how many people
could you imagine though? I think what's cool about it, it's like a really neat thing because like the hood is a storage place up front, and you'd never have to bring your equipment in to charge it. All your camera,
charge
video
everything
stuff
in my car.
Yeah, and then you just go home and charge that sucker.
Love it.
I think it's pretty neat. I think Ford's doing some pretty cool stuff.
I'm all in on the Ford F-150 Lightning. I told Hannah, whenever I make 90,000, I'm going to buy one.
Yeah,
just write the check.
Just
that's it.
Write the check.
Write the check.
That's awesome. Thanks. This turned into be almost a Ford commercial.
Pretty much did.
We are open to sponsorship.
The
Ford. At Ford.com.
Yeah, I will say
6 of our 9 are Fords. I counted Lincoln in there.
I've never had a Ford until I had that Ford Edge.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Like, love it. And I've always been in your trucks, and they're always done well. And yeah, Ford.
Smooth ride.
American made.
Back up their product.
They do. All right. We're going to move on to a good word. Thanks for that. Good top 3. I'm not going to argue with any of that.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Matt, you got a good word for us, buddy?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think
I'm on pins and needles.
I know you are. Especially since I came in here and said, what? I got a top 3 today?
Yeah.
Or a good
we're
word today?
recording today? Oh, I'm supposed to be prepared today? What?
Yeah. Imagine that. But, you talk about COVID and all that kind of stuff and your recovery and going to the hospital and how the nurses and all that kind of stuff and how they took care of you.
Oh, yeah.
And what you're seeing on social media is a completely differently painted picture. You've got all these doctors protesting saying, if you're unvaccinated, I'm not going to treat you and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I see a bunch of people on social media saying, well, if you don't have the vaccination, then, at this point I've got no more sympathy. And so the word of the day for me would be compassion. And
I like it.
It's everybody's personal choice to do something or not to do something. Because they see what's best for them. And let's not let that get in the way of actually still being there and loving each other, right? And it is, maybe it's not sympathy that person needs, but how about a little empathy, because if there's a point in time, same with me, I joined the Marine Corps. Nobody forced me to join the Marine Corps. I lost my legs. Is that anybody else's fault but my own? No, it was my choice to do that. But there's a whole group of people that have, empathy and compassion towards me, and the situation that I went through. So what's different about being vaccinated or unvaccinated? And I think it's just another tool meant to divide us. There's just different trains of thought. If you think that the research is there and that you trust this 100%, good on you. Go do it. Go do what's best for you, but allow me the same respect to go do what I feel is best for me. Because if this thing is doing what you're saying it's doing in the vaccine, then you shouldn't have to worry about me in the first place.
Yep.
Because I'm not taking up your hospital spots.
Right.
It's not like they're sending, traumatic injuries to the COVID ward. So I mean, let's stop being not necessarily insensitive, but let's just show each other a little bit more compassion. And that's really just what the good word is for today.
I like it.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, while I was in there, I was shown nothing but compassion from the nurses and the doctors that treated me. So can't thank them enough.
Who knows? Some of the ones getting fired because they're unvaccinated. You might not.
One of the nurses that treated me would be like she's like, I'm not getting the vaccine, and she'd been working the COVID year and a half and never contracted the virus. Or if she did, she didn't know it. Like, no symptoms. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame what they're doing to people that you know, I mean, even from nurses to, I think I read an article today that like New York's letting
175,000.
Like, no, there's like thousands in New York that they're letting go in a couple of days, like 8,000 nurses.
I saw one hospital system that had like 380, 400 some odd employees, and they just fired 175 of them or something like that.
I just hope those nurses that are getting let go are able to go move somewhere else and just find another place to work.
Yeah.
God, that just.
Well, heck, the NBA players are coming out now too, and they're being pretty. I've heard a couple people talk about it. It's like because there are states that require the vaccine in certain capacities, and now that the NBA came out and said, well, if you're an athlete that is not going to get vaccinated, then you're not getting paid anytime you play in that state. Like, or can't play and therefore not getting paid. Some crazy things. So there's a few people in the NBA that are, coming at it with like, come on guys, like really, this is not okay.
It's just the whole thing with the nurses. I mean, they were on the front lines through all this going out, and the way they're treating them now over the vaccine is just, it's horrible.
It's
not compassionate.
It's a pandemic version of Vietnam.
Help me out there.
You guys are out there in the front line doing what the government told them to do. Come back,
and we're gonna hate you guys
and get crapped on.
Yep. I see the relation.
So anyway,
compassion.
It goes back to my whole goal for 2021 is to be nicer, be more kind, not be argumentative online, trying to bring people together.
I like how you quantified the not be argumentative with online, because he has not stopped being argumentative in person with me.
But that is because you can hear my tone, inflection, and you know how I actually mean to say something. And I'm not completely being mean.
And I'm compassionate.
Well,
I'm so compassionate to people that
are
like Matt.
That need it.
Anyway.
All right. Who's bringing us on out?
I will. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Hardheaded. I'd like to thank Admiral's Pennant, our sponsor. Wonderful beard oil for your face. If you're not using Admiral's Pennant beard oil, you might as well shave. And find us on social media, Hardheaded Podcast. Hardheadedpodcast.com. You can drop us a note there. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you like to listen to podcasts.
Yeah, please share this episode. Give us a rate and a review wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps us get the word out.
And let us know in the comments of Facebook. I waited. Pause for your drop there.
You talked over it.
What are your top 3 cars?
Yeah, let's hear those top 3 cars under 100K.
All right. We'll talk to you next week.